and keep your boundaries in a healthy romantic relationship. Setting boundaries is attractive. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Alice, the key of your relationship. Today I'm going to talk about an important aspect of any romantic relationship: setting and maintaining boundaries. Boundaries are essential for a healthy and fulfilling relationship, as they help establish mutual respect, trust, and understanding between partners. Setting and maintaining boundaries in romantic relationships is crucial for maintaining a healthy and balanced dynamic. Boundaries are guidelines that define what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior within a relationship. They help individuals communicate their needs, values, and limits, ultimately fostering mutual respect and understanding between partners. But what are healthy boundaries? Before I go any further, know that I am Alice, dating and relationship coach. And if you're liking what you're hearing, then please subscribe on my YouTube channel. Alice, the key of your relationship. And please send this video to someone who might benefit from my message. It costs you nothing, and doing like this, you can make this channel grow. Please share, like, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your support. So, what are healthy boundaries? You might hear the word boundaries and imagine walls that separate you from other people. But boundaries aren't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, they're an important ingredient in healthy, balanced relationships. They're also a crucial part of maintaining your identity, mental health, and physical well-being. Boundaries are clear guidelines that are established to help you clearly communicate behavior you will accept from other people and behavior other people can expect from you. You can't see them, but these lines help you stay you and provide a sense of mutual respect, protection, expectations, and support. I can give you the simplest explanation of a boundary. Let's say that you get into a conflict with your partner and your lover yells at you or they call you idiot or stupid, even if you told them from the very beginning of your relationship that you do not accept to be disrespected. You have a boundary around name calling or yelling because you should never allow anybody to call you names. I recommend you that in that moment you calmly say, "Time out. I feel that you treated me with disrespect. This discussion is over. I'll step away because I have a boundary around people disrespecting me, so I'll leave for 30 minutes. And we can continue this later if you are open to have this conversation and if you don't call me names." See, boundaries aren't about me controlling you. Actually, my boundary has nothing to do with you. It's about me respecting me honoring me, and what I know I deserve because I deserve kindness and respect even during a conflict, as do you. Boundaries are not about me controlling or punishing you. You can continue to say whatever you want, but in this situation, when my communicated boundary was broken, all I'm doing is controlling what I can control, which is my physical presence or the level of access I give to you at this moment. If they don't let you leave, that's called abuse, and there are laws against abuse. Boundaries can include restrictions on physical actions, such as asking your partner not to look through your phone or not to interrupt when you're working from home. They can also be psychological, such as asking your spouse to accept that your goals and dreams may not always be the same as theirs. Stay till the end of this video because I reveal you practical examples about how you can communicate your boundaries. Healthy boundaries serve to encourage autonomy and reduce codependent habits. Set expectations when interacting with others. Give you a sense of empowerment and self-respect. Ensure your physical and emotional comfort. Clarify individual responsibilities in a relationship. Separate your wants, needs, thoughts, and feelings from those of others. Without healthy boundaries, your relationships can become toxic and unsatisfying, and your well-being can suffer. You might feel taken advantage or feel overwhelmed by stress if you have to solve all of your partner's emotional problems, or if your partner continually invades your privacy in certain moments when you told them not to invade it. You'll likely feel resentful. Similarly, if you continually ignore other person's boundaries, you risk making them feel uncomfortable and damaging the relationship. Boundaries aren't just necessary in your personal relationships, though. They're also needed in the workplace, where co-workers or managers might monopolize your time or disregard your needs. Unhealthy boundaries at work can also follow you home and reduce the quality of your personal life. But I'll speak more about this subject in another video, so keep watching my future videos. Let me give you practical ways to set your boundaries. So, to set boundaries effectively, it is important to first identify your own needs and values. Reflect on what makes you feel comfortable and respected in a relationship, and communicate this to your partner in a clear and assertive manner. It is essential to be honest with yourself and your partner about what you are and are not willing to tolerate. When setting boundaries, it is important to be specific, direct, but kind, not rude. Clearly communicate your boundaries, making sure your partner understands the reasons behind them. Remember that boundaries are not meant to control or manipulate your partner, but to create a safe and a healthy environment for both individuals to thrive. In order to maintain boundaries, it is important to consistently reinforce them through communication and action. Be firm in upholding your boundaries, and do not compromise them for the sake of avoiding conflict or pleasing your partner. Respect your partner's boundaries as well, as mutual respect is key to a successful relationship. It is also important to regularly reassess and adjust boundaries as needed. As relationships evolve, so do individuals' needs and boundaries. Open and honest communication with your partner is essential in navigating these changes and ensuring that both individuals feel heard and respected. In conclusion, setting and maintaining boundaries in romantic relationships is a fundamental aspect of building a healthy and a fulfilling partnership. By understanding your own needs, communicating effectively, and respecting both your own and your partner's boundaries, you can create a strong foundation for a loving and respectful relationship. Here are some tips on how to set and keep boundaries in a romantic relationship. 1. Identify your boundaries. Take some time to reflect on what is important to you in a relationship and what you are comfortable with. This could include physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, or even boundaries related to personal space and time. 2. Communication is key. The first step in setting boundaries is to communicate openly and honestly with your partner. Clearly express your needs, preferences, and limits in a respectful manner. 3. Set boundaries together. It's important to involve your partner in the process of setting boundaries. Discuss and negotiate boundaries together to ensure that both of your needs and expectations are taken into account. 4. Be firm and consistent. Once you have set boundaries, it's important to stick to them. Be firm in enforcing your boundaries and communicate any violations or concerns with your partner. 5. Respect your partner's boundaries. Just as you expect your boundaries to be respected, it's important to respect your partner's boundaries as well. Listen to their needs and preferences and make an effort to understand and honor them. 6. Revisit and adjust boundaries as needed. As your relationship evolves, it's important to revisit and adjust your boundaries as needed. Be open to discussing any changes or new boundaries that may arise over time. Remember, setting and maintaining boundaries in a romantic relationship is a continuous process that requires open communication, mutual respect, and understanding. By establishing healthy boundaries, you can create a strong foundation for a happy and fulfilling relationship. If you set boundaries with someone and they don't like it, please realize that it is their problem to deal with, not yours. Some people that set boundaries feel guilty or responsible for how other people feel. So these people that feel guilty, sometimes they will not set their boundaries, or they will not express how they feel because they don't want to upset their partner, because they don't want their partner to feel negative emotions, because they fear that their partner may leave them. I want to help you, and please remember that it's not your responsibility to please everybody. It's not your responsibility to abandon yourself at the expense of someone else, and because of that, the power comes when you begin to actually express how you feel and set boundaries whenever is necessary. This is just a process of you coming into your own power, and as you do that, you make space for the things that do resonate, and you move out of the things that no longer resonate, or to give them a chance to transform. How to set boundaries in your relationships? Boundaries can help you retain a sense of identity and personal space, and they're easier to create and maintain than you might think. You'll find boundaries in every kind of relationship, from friends and family to colleagues and brief acquaintances. While they're important in all areas, boundaries come up a lot in romantic partnerships. When it comes to your life as a couple, consider that there are actually 3 entities involved: yourself, your partner, and the relationship itself. And boundaries need to be defined for each, says Dr. 𝐁𝐨𝐞𝐞𝐫, professor of sociology and intimacy at the Open University. Each of those 3 parties needs to be sustained, nourished, and feel respected. 𝐁𝐨𝐻 says, don't be afraid to set your boundaries. Don't choose to avoid a confrontation. Communicate your boundaries even if you will not keep the peace into your relationship. Partners who desire and focus on keeping the peace at the expense of keeping the respect or another boundary, these partners are going to lose their lover. Don't scream or shout your boundaries. Definitely, I do not suggest you to do this. But communicate in an open, calm manner that this behavior is something that you are not comfortable with. If your partner continues to break that boundary after you communicated it again and again and again, you don't keep repeating yourself. Leave. Remove yourself from that relationship. Respect yourself and you leave. If your partner sees that you can't respect yourself and you are not leaving, even if they keep breaking your boundaries, they lost their respect for you and you lost your lover anyway. Healthy relationship boundaries. While there are some basic rules to consider when building and maintaining healthy boundaries, what works for one person might not be so ideal for someone else. For example, your partner may have different expectations of the amount of time you spend together, the frequency of communication when you're apart, what's considered to be cheating in a committed relationship: message, kiss, sex with another person, lines being crossed when discussing finances. And this is likely to change throughout the relationship. It can be helpful to discuss what your guidelines are and set clear boundaries that align with both of your needs. To do this, it's important that you and your partner honestly communicate your expectations and focus on how honoring those boundaries can help you create a relationship that allows you to feel safe. Everyone's got their own space and comfort levels when it comes to boundaries, explains James Priest, dating coach. It's about respect and showing them, I love you for who you are, and I'm going to give you the space you need. Examples of healthy boundaries in relationships. The following examples apply to romantic partnerships, but also any frequently communicative relationships where there's a responsibility and expectation on both sides, like business partners, co-parents, or in-laws. In healthy relationships, both people ask permission, take one another's feelings into account, show gratitude, are honest, give space for autonomy and avoid codependence, show respect for differences in opinion, perspective, and feelings, take responsibility for their actions. Was this helpful? Write me in the comment section below. Boundaries that don't work. While it's a good idea to set some boundaries, some don't work and can ultimately have a negative effect on one or both partners. These tend to be founded in control, when one person tries to restrict or command the actions of the other. And there are some definite red flags to look out for. Anything that limits a person's options is an unhealthy boundary. The boundaries about a person's options could be around time, the way they act, even the way they dress. Crossing these lines can be dangerous. I won't accept boundaries about my time or the way I act or the way I dress. So for example, I will never accept any partner's boundaries about the way I dress, meaning I will never accept to have a relationship with a man that tells me, you can't go out dressed like this. This is not a healthy boundary. We shouldn't confuse boundaries and control. They're not the same thing. If someone feels a partner is putting up boundaries in a controlling way, these are my boundaries and this is what you must do, then there's a problem with communication around boundaries being established. My recommendation is to never accept controlling boundaries, to never have relationships with controlling people. And more than this, if you or someone you know are experiencing controlling behavior or domestic violence, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline in your country. How to set boundaries in a relationship? There are a variety of different ways you can go about setting boundaries. Here are 4 approaches to get you started. 1. Begin early. It's much easier to introduce boundaries at the start or earlier on in a relationship rather than years down the road, especially once habits and routines have been established and both partners are more emotionally invested. But if it's a little late for this tip, don't worry. Installing boundaries at any point is still better than imposing upon each other until it frays your bond completely. 2. Conversation is key. No matter how awkward you might feel talking about your emotions or bringing up trickier subjects, a two-way discussion is vital in boundary setting. Communication is key to relationships, and you do need to have conversations, even if they're really difficult things to talk about, like sex. Not only do these discussions help both partners understand the extent and rules of the boundary, but they provide an opportunity to explain why you value a particular boundary. Plus, research done by Trusted Research in 2016 suggests that couples who check in regularly and open up about their boundaries experience greater relationship satisfaction overall. 3. Use I statements. I think all communication should start with I feel. If you lead with superlative or accusatory statements like you always or you never, then you're going to be hit with a brick wall off. That's not what I think. Nobody wants to be criticized or rejected. And once those defensive barriers come up, it can be hard to get the conversation back on the track. Treat others how you like to be treated. So aim to set boundaries with kindness. Giving more specific examples can also help support your point and make it seem less of an overreaching attack. Examples of I statements done in the right way. I felt really sad when this happened. Or I felt really sad when you called me stupid. Is this what you want? Do you want to make me feel sad? Do you want to hurt me? Another example. I feel unheard when you keep pushing me to have sex with you. Can you please understand that by pushing me to have sex with you, you are pushing me away from you, from our relationship? I statements done incorrectly. I know that you always hurt me. You never listen to me. You always yell at me. When communicating your boundaries, never use always. Never use never. 4. It's okay to ask for space. Whether you're just starting out with a partner or have been with them for a while, it's totally acceptable to desire and ask for some time for me. It might be that you have a really demanding job and you need half an hour of debrief time when you come home where you don't talk. You can say, my dear, this is what I would need. How can we make it happen? There's a chance your partner might see this request as a form of rejection, so it's important to take their feelings into account and explain this isn't the case. Talk about why you need that boundary and why it's meaningful to you. Recognize how the other person may feel and work with them throughout that. Practical example of how to settle a healthy boundary is: if he asks for sex too early in the dating process, or if you are not yet ready for sex, you can say, I don't get physical until I'm ready. I'm in charge with my body. I will not be pressured by someone else in these areas. And for all the boundaries that you have, you can give the same explanation. These are my boundaries. They do not require you to agree with them for me to enforce them. But I would like to tell you what I feel. To find out about other ways of saying no to sexual early advances in dating, follow my video called How to Say No to a Man That Asks for Intimacy Too Early in the Dating Phase, Part 1. And Part 2, 8 templates to use. Now, let's recap. Think of all boundaries as a framework rather than rigid guidelines. Events such as having children or coping with loss can occur throughout your relationship that will cause boundaries to shift. Having boundaries is an expected and healthy aspect of good relationships. So don't be afraid to determine where they lie for yourself, for your partner, and as a couple. All guidelines that are established should make you and your partner feel heard, respected, and comfortable. Follow my future videos because I offer you other amazing relationship advices. To find out more about how to have a first date, watch my video called How to Approach Someone to Get the First Date, a guide to approaching someone with confidence. To find out more about sex on the first date, follow my videos called Should I Have Intimate Relationships on the First Date? Part 1. But also my video called Is it okay to have sex on the first date? Part 2. If you want to have a healthy, long-lasting love relationship, follow my videos called How to Find Your Compatible Lover, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. My personal advice: be unique, be special, be different, so that you make the person you are dating with, that you are married with, insatiable for you. My love for you, insatiable. If you subscribe to this channel, you'll motivate me to create videos with even better content. So please, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Alice, the key of your relationship. Like and share this video to people who might need it. It costs you nothing, but you really help me. You can also follow me on Facebook, and my Instagram is Alice, key of your relationship without any space between words. Thank you for subscribing. I can't wait to see you in my future videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope these tips help you navigate boundaries in your own romantic relationship. Kisses!